Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. I'm here with my fearless dog out in the desert. It's Troy Casey, certified health nut, reporting live from planet Earth, also known as President of Planet Earth. If you didn't get the memo, I've been President of Planet Earth since 2016. I decided to run my own circus when the circus comes to town every 4 years in the selection process. I was pretty blown away when Donald Trump beat out Hillary Clinton because I thought the globalists would have her in there. It was going to be a shoo-in. So I guess there was a little bit of upset in the program, and hence why we saw him get attacked extensively. And I know a lot of people have been saying that Donald Trump's all part of this the situation, but I see him still as anti-establishment. So without further ado, the breaking news: Trump to appoint RFK Jr. to investigate what is causing the decades-long increase in chronic health problems and childhood disease, including autoimmune disorders, autism, which I think was like 1 in 10,000 or 1 in 30,000 early 1900s, 1 in 10,000 before 1989, and now it's like 1 in 17, something like that. Lots of statistical issues: autoimmune disorders, autism, obesity, infertility, and many more. Infertility is right up there, alignment with ED, schmerectal, ED. You know, I gotta be careful about what I say because we're not living in free speech, constitutional America anymore, and so they can censor you. And for some reason, they censor the old limp wiener situation. So infertility amongst men and women, and so I've been running campaigns on that for a while because it all comes down to our vitality and virility. So it's good to see that the politicians are catching up to the conversation I've been having for decades. And so when I started Certified Health Nut channel, you can catch that video. It's called Who's Driving the Bus? I think I filmed that in about 2007 in front of the Golden Gate Bridge. And so I've been talking about this for a long time. I was there when Barack Obama ran, and I thought he was going to change things. Yes, we can, right? And then he was going to label GMOs, and then a liar, right? And so, you know, is industry too big to change with the commercial conduits that are owned and co-opted by the lobbyists, by the big ag, big drug, banking cartels, and the media that keeps everything in place, right? I don't like to call them ruling class because they're not ruling over me. But the globalists, the people that are keeping everything in place. And so it's good to see Trump and RFK. They've got that anti-establishment alliance. So I do like that. Although, again, I'm not waiting for any man to come and save me. I'm not waiting for the government to come and save me. I'm not waiting for a politician. Now, as president of planet Earth, I will join them in their mission, or they will join me, however we want to shake it out. And so, but I am here to stay steadfast on my campaign. Free energy, self-care education, permaculture, and gift economy are the 4 major solutions that I'm here to usher in as we ground in New Earth. And so it's a good idea that we have this conversation. But again, everything is intertwined with big oil, big money, big fake petrodollar money, big ag, weapons, war, and media that keeps everything into place. And so the prime directive is to subvert that whole situation at the same time when they're trying to clamp down on our constitutional rights, which are just simply God-given rights written down on a piece of paper, which is pretty powerful. So I do think this is a powerful sign of the times. I'm here to comment on that. I do have one foot in the real world and championing things that I see are outside of the matrix, right? There's a glitch in the matrix, right? First glitch in the matrix I really saw was that Trump made it in to the whole scenario in 2016. And then there was a lot of curveballs there. And then of course he jumped on, Operation Warp Speed. And some say, he was pro jibby jabby, and he's also pro, war in Israel or funding Israel type of thing. Also understanding that we're all one or none, right? Luke Skywalker must have a Darth Vader. So this is all a part of the awakening call, right? The wake-up call. This is all part of the yin-yang balancing magic act that we're dealing with here on planet Earth. And I've seen the vision. We pull a rabbit out of a hat. We create peace and harmony, rhythm and flow on this earth, working in balance with nature at a higher spiritual order, if you will. And the first solution that I recommend for myself or anyone else is definitely what Gandhi said: become the change that you wish to see in the world. Elevate your spirit, elevate your consciousness. Self-care education. The body needs sleep. Good idea to get some good rest. Have some good sleep hygiene. The body is mostly water. Best to have pure water coming inside the body. The solution to pollution is dilution. The body is made up of the earth, so it's a good idea to have food that has vitamins, minerals, and enzymes. You are made up of electromagnetism, so it's a good idea to get the electricity, the fire, the source of all life on earth, from the sun, getting sun on your body without blocking it with chemical, white, stinky soup all over your body that changes the blue pool in Hawaii and poisons the waters and the coral reefs with all that junk sunscreen type of stuff. And then getting grounded into the earth. I have my little earth runners right here with my copper on there, but I'll actually go one step further. I'm going to get a little bit naked with the feet, because that's the real groundedness, right? When you get the old feets in there. And so the body requires electromagnetism, so grounding into the earth, getting the sun on the body, activating the mitochondria, the ATP, the cellular structure, saturating that, getting as pure oxygen and optimizing your breathing mechanics, and getting a goat head. Look at that thing stuck in your foot. A little nature's acupuncture. Woo! Getting back to nature in all of its facets has been my message for the past 2 decades here on social media. And so, breaking news, I think it's fantastic that Trump and RFK are teaming up and also calling a spade, the Democratic Party, for what it's become. The whole commercial conduit machine has become a circus, a joke, fake news, fake food, fake ideas, psychological warfare through the media to make you buy a bunch of stuff that you don't need, and contaminating the blood supply. I will say this, I do like RFK's line in the sand delineated by the EPA since the 1986 Act, the advent of GMOs and glyphosate was allowed to be put on the market, and a handful of other elements. The chronic disease has gone through the roof. And if you don't know what the 1986 Act is, never before has a company been exonerated from liability for one of their products. Just think about seatbelts, or the Corvair, or the Pinto, which, had, if you rear-ended it, it could explode, right? They took that stuff off the market right? And so there are liabilities if you're going to make a product that kills and maims people. And so the 1986 Act, since then, autism, obesity, also R.J. Reynolds and other tobacco companies bought up all the food companies and took their technology of chemicalizing tobacco into chemicalizing food. And lo and behold, what do we have now, baby? We've got childhood obesity, childhood cancer, autism through the roof, chronic fatigue, Crohn's disease, IBS, all these digestive issues. And so I think it's a good idea that Trump has jumped on the bandwagon of RFK's platform. I think it's essential. And RFK, as I've said for a very long time, even though people have accused him of being pro-Israel and funding all the genocide that's going on over there, I don't know what politicians toe the weight. Even I can get censored just talking on here about anything, right? People can take it into their own context and call me Trump supporting, orange man, bad, derangement syndrome, misogynist, just because I say anything. But the bottom line is I'm here to help everyone question everything. Everything you think you know, everything you think is actually historical fact. I mean, just read Howard Zinn's The People's History of the United States. It was written by the losers, right? The losers of the wars. And so it's a different perspective. And so, and you have to remember that the victors always use propaganda. Propaganda has been around. Lying on paper has been around since the scribes learned how to put ink on papyrus. So this is nothing new, right? Paper prisons, right? So it's a good wake-up call, guys. I've seen the vision, and things change. Are the globalists just going to cause another issue like starting a war or activating the Emergency Act so there is no election selection? I could probably get censored for saying that as well, even though what happened here in Maricopa County, where I am right now in the desert. But the media likes to pull this whole thing where they go, that's fake news, right? It's a circus out there, guys. But look, things are moving in a positive direction. There's more unity, right? RFK and Trump joining forces, there's more unity. And here's the other thing. Now, the Democrats, or whatever you want to call them, the globalists, the poop show, the liars, the globalist minions, now they're going to run on chronic disease. But the last thing you want is real politicians. And remember, Donald Trump wasn't a politician before he got involved in 2016. And RFK, even though his family comes from politicians, I don't think he's ever been in office. So you got two non-politicians in an alliance, right? The anti-establishment alliance, which I dig. Anything that's anti-establishment, status quo, I dig. Right in alignment with Certified Health Nut. Why I started my whole channel, why it's so important. The health of the world, the health of the environment which I live in is directly related to the health of me. We're only conscious to the degree we're healthy, and right now humanity is fat, sick, and nearly dead, at least in the United States of America, for sure. And then the rest of the world is suffering from mental issues as well as issues of the heart and soul. And so we are the environment. There is no separation. We are also a part of all of our brothers that we decide to drop bombs on for natural resources. And so that's coming home to roost. We have to look at who's come across the border recently. You know, all those men from war-torn lands. So we get to make peace and we get to create harmony in this world, right? Gratitude for what is and forgiveness for what was. That's a big part of our job as men, and to help guide that leadership. And so I do like them putting their stuff aside and joining forces on what matters most, which is this country, and I think it's very important. Again, I'm not waiting for a politician to change the world, and Some say they could be part of the whole one world government and all that stuff too. But I've seen the vision, guys. We are all going back to God, and we bust open the consciousness and we elevate and evolve as a species. And so I think this is good news that RFK and Trump are joining forces. More people are being aware of the sickness that is all around us. And so I'm curious what you think. Drop a comment in the box, and let's continue the discussion over there. I think it's a great time to be alive. I think that there's so much opportunity. I'm grateful that I can have any marginal level of health in this world, even though I know the pitfalls, right? That I have access to the mountains behind me, that I have access to stepping on this ground, this sacred ground. And that I don't live in a war-torn country, right? And all of our lifestyle comes from the natural resources that we usurp from other parts of the world. So I take it as a great responsibility for myself as a man to help raise the consciousness and start to have a dialogue towards equitable systems. No one's free until we're all free. And we're all part of the debt slave economy with the fake fiat currencies. And so it's time to get back to some intrinsic value, hence the gift economy. We all have unique gifts and purpose and our effortless genius. And if we all were just ourselves and we all gave our gifts religiously, effortlessly, we could change the world. We don't need magical pieces of paper with no intrinsic value that's made up, and there's all sorts of ways to devalue that currency, etc. And so the jig's up, baby. We wake up right now, so I'm super excited. Trump and RFK joined forces, and they're going to have certified health nut, president of planet Earth, as their health czar. What do you think about that? Drop a comment in the box. Let me know what you're thinking. God bless.